It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood while I'm sharing this Facebook Live to everyone who likes when I share the live to them. So, guys, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Guess what? I'm sure you can read the sign right now. We just hit 10,000 followers. Yay! Can I get a round of applause? Come on in, share the live. Let everyone know that we are on. Don't forget, as you're coming in, let us know where you are joining us from because today it is all about celebrating 10,000. So I'm very happy that you're joining us today as we observe this very important milestone. And yes, we did it in less than 4 years. So in less than 4 years, we have been able to amass 10,000 followers. So I'm very proud of this. And I just was trying to remember what was the very first Facebook Live that I did. And I think I started doing Facebook Lives in 2020. So about October of 2020, I had already started doing my first radio program, Untapped Potential. And I was interviewing the participants for the show using Zoom, but I never did it live. And then it just clicked in my brain that I would get more of an audience if I did the interviews via Facebook Live. And then I used the audio for the radio program. So just a light bulb moment got me started doing the Facebook Lives back in October 2020. And I'm very happy that we've been growing from strength to strength since then. And even today, even this month, we still get up to 360 followers every 28 days. So I'm so happy that everyone is seeing the value of this Push Past 10 platform. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being on this journey with me. I want to thank you for everyone who decided to follow. Thank you for following us. Everyone who continues to view, like, and very importantly, share, because it's because of you sharing the content to everyone. Don't forget, let me know where you're joining us from. It's because of you sharing the content to everyone that we have been able to grow to 10,000 on Push Past 10 in the last 4 years. So we have so many people to thank. I want to thank our main sponsor of my Facebook Lives, which is TDN Radio. And they're also the one who got me started in broadcasting by inviting me to do a radio show. So I owe a big debt of gratitude to Mr. Sam George over there at TDN Radio for getting me to agree to go from psychology to broadcasting. So thank you for that. And also I want to thank, you guys don't know because, you see me as the face of Push Past 10, but I have to tell you, there are a lot of folks who work in the background, who just prefer to stay anonymous in the background, but they are the ones, much of the content you see me post on Push Past and keeping you up to date on what is going on, sharing celebrations with you, sharing concerns with you, sharing a good laugh with you. They are the ones who are in the background and they continue to send me the content every day. Sometimes I post them and then sometimes I'm like, no, we're not going to post this. So they're the ones who remain in the background and send me all the content for the program. And I also want to make sure I thank our Facebook group partners, because as you can see, the message says 10,000 on Push Past 10, but 40,000 combined. And if you saw the flyer I showed in the beginning of this program, and it's also posted on Push Past 10, you will see we have a number of partners that we are allowed to share our content with, but also we have some who are not listed on that flyer that we are sharing to. So we share to about maybe 15 platforms. So talk about Amplify, right? Which is our latest ongoing project. Talk about Amplify. So I want to say a very special thank you to the Facebook group partners that allow me to share our content, because they too see the value in the information I post. I want to call some names, but I'm not going to because there's so many of them. I might forget to thank someone. So I'm just going to say our Facebook group partners, thank you for allowing us to share our content and for allowing us to amplify our people. And for me, this is all about evolving. So anyone who knows me will tell you, I do not like to be stagnant. I do not do stagnant. So, I was just flipping back through my notes because I take diligent notes. So I was working on you would say I was working on a degree. I take diligent notes because I like to know where I come from and I like to know the journey I'm on and I like to know where I'm going. So I was just looking back on the taglines I've used over the years. And the very first one I used was promoting our people, our businesses, our culture. So it was all about just promoting us as Dominicans. And then the next one I used, I said, well, if we're promoting our people, our culture, our businesses, our products, then we're really advancing Dominica. So then the next one I came up with, which was probably back in maybe, I want to say end of 2021, 2022, was advancing our people, our culture, our Caribbean islands. And as of recently, you will notice I changed it again because again, for me, it is about growth and evolution, evolving. How am I growing? How am I evolving? How am I learning new skills, new competencies? So now you will hear that I say that this platform is dedicated to harnessing the power of technology, international radio, social media, podcasts to leverage the expertise of our Dominican and Caribbean people around the world for the benefit of us all. So kind of just keep in mind that expression as I continue along here today. But I know for many people, many of us have such great business ideas, but we struggle with how to grow our Facebook pages, how to have engaging content. And you will notice at the beginning of every program, I always say share the live. And I also say, let us know where you're joining from. Because one of the things that Facebook tracks is your audience engagement. So if you're looking to grow your engagement on social media, when you come live, just simply ask people to post a message, to say hi, to say where they're joining you from, and it will count towards your engagement. But let's be honest here. Let's be honest, because if you're not a comedian, if you're not a singer, if you're not somebody who's doing like Facebook Lives and you're cooking, it can really be a daunting task to grow your social media page, right? And I think every one of us have experienced that in the beginning. You think like you're putting out these wonderful videos and then you turn around, you're like, what, 50 people? 50 people watch this video. So it can be a really daunting task. But I have to tell you, if you just want to grow your Facebook page, for growing your Facebook page, you just want to amass, thousands of followers, there's some easy tricks. There's some very easy tricks that you can use to grow your Facebook audience. And I'm going to tell you how I did it myself, but there's some very easy ways that you can do it. And you can see it on many Facebook pages. So what some people will do is they will simply imitate somebody else who's famous on Facebook. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen this guy, but his name, he goes by the name, the King of Squats. He's from somewhere in Africa. I don't think he ever says much. So I don't think we know exactly where in Africa he's located, but let me tell you, don't tell my husband I'm in love. This guy is phenomenal. So what he does, all he does is he do this like walking squats. So he's squatting, exercising, and he's just walking along and he's doing like this dance to the squatting moves. And he has amassed thousands of followers. So what do other people do? They imitate him. They see that he has amassed thousands of followers. So they post videos of themselves split screen, he on one side and they on the other side, and of course they're gonna pat their butts because he has I think he has the greatest butt in the world, quite frankly. So they pat their butts and they imitate them. So they too get thousands of followers. So that is one approach if you just want to indiscriminately just grow your Facebook platform. You don't care how you grow it. You just want to grow it, right? So that is one way. Another way I see a lot of people growing their Facebook platform indiscriminately is by doing the imitation voices. So they will use someone else's voice that is saying, just, dropping some facts or saying something that will certainly grab the audience's attention. So they stand there and they imitate the voice. And that seems to bring a lot of followers to people's pages. The other thing, so 3 of them, imitating a famous person, imitating a voice, and the other one I see a lot of as well is the reaction videos. Okay, so you take a video that is very popular on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you can get the video from, and all you do, split screen, you put the video on one side and you're on the other side, and you're just like, oh, okay, funny, and it works. And look, I'm not one to judge anybody for how they choose to grow their platform. So if you're just wanting that massive amount of followers, you don't really care what you have to do and to get that massive amount of followers, those are some tips and tricks. Don't say I never give you no free advice. So those are some really easy tips and tricks if you want to grow your Facebook audience indiscriminately. But for me, my content, it kind of has to represent me. So those options, I'm certainly not interested in doing any of these options, because for me, this whole journey has been about reconceptualizing social media. So yes, you can go about raising your audience, growing your audience in those ways. But for me, it had to be more of an organic approach. So I wanted to create most of my content, and I wanted to test to see what worked and what didn't work. So yes, I started out with the interviews, and a lot of the interviews were intellectual conversations. That's me all day, every day. If you give me a good intellectual conversation, I am good to go. I can produce them, host them, and be a part of the conversation all day long. But I started realizing that wasn't really growing my audience. So what I quickly came to realize is that in order to grow my audience, and this is for anyone who's looking to grow their audience organically, and if you wanted to represent who you are, not just growing it by doing what everybody else is doing to amass thousands of followers. But if you want to grow your audience organically, here is what I did. So the number one thing I realized very quickly is the importance of variety. So yes, the whole intellectual conversations, that's great. But number one, that's only for a certain population. And number two, most people on Facebook have a very short time span. So they're not really interested in very long content. So a lot of people are interested in like short clips and short productions. So I realized very quickly that I had to create variety. I had to create variety in order to be able to continue growing. And then the other thing is consistency. So a lot of times people say, oh, I don't have time for Facebook. I don't have time for Facebook. Well, that's where somebody like me comes in, right? So in terms of the whole Amplify You movement, one of the things that I do is I can provide you with the content so that you know to just go ahead and post this and post it consistently. So that is a part of our Amplify You program here on Push Past 10. But consistency, you have to be willing to post at least once a day. I mean, sometimes I end up posting like 3-4 times a day, thanks to my providers, my content providers, and some of my own ideas as well. But you have to be willing to post, especially in the beginning. You have to be willing to post consistently, because that is how, you build that traction. You get people to follow you because they're seeing that they're liking your content. So that is very important to post consistently, to also provide variety. excuse me, the other important thing, and I'm very happy that I'm noticing that, is that people are using more hashtags. Do you know I didn't realize hashtags work on Facebook? I've been doing these programs. Well, I started beginning of 2024. So I'd already been doing my programs for like 3 years before I realized hashtag work. And as a matter of fact, the only reason I realized hashtags work is because I started posting videos from our Paris trip. And I said, let me just put some hashtags and see if that works. And I mean, those videos started getting like 10,000 views. So that told me, and again, this has been such a learning opportunity for me. And everybody knows I like to learn. So, learning that by putting hashtags that relate to your content, it really does give you an opportunity to reach a broader audience. So I've seen a lot more people using hashtags, and I say thumbs up because hashtags certainly work. So far we've talked about variety. So far we've talked about the need to be consistent when posting hashtags. Another very good way to grow your Facebook page organically is by following other groups, joining other groups that are similar to yours. So if, for example, you're in the wellness industry, you want to follow other wellness groups so that you can be a part of their ability to share. But be careful, because I see it all the time. People join these platforms and it's all about self-promotion, okay? And people can spot you out real quick. So if all you do is come in and all you do is just post your content, they're going to kick you out. They're going to kick you out. So you have to be willing to add value to the groups that you join. So don't just post your content, but engage in the content that other people are posting so that you're showing that this is not about you just joining the group and then posting your content. And also in terms of when I talk about variety, let's say, for example, let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, you're in the field of finance, and I see it all the time. Again, great ideas, but the approach needs adjusting. So if, for example, you're in the field of finance, don't do the same program every week. Don't have the same interview every week and just change the guest. Because guess what? People are quickly going to tune out. So if you're in the field of finance, for example, some of the ideas you might want to consider is maybe doing a budget, showing people how to do a budget, showing people maybe how to save for that vacation you always wanted to. By the way, this month is financial literacy month in Dominica. So today we're in October. So it's financial literacy month in October. So jumping on that and seeing how you can engage your audience, changing your location. If you notice, many times I will change the location of where I'm doing my Facebook Lives, changing your style. So like sometimes I'll have my hair curly, sometimes I'll have it straight, changing your outfit. So it's media. And the beast that media is requires variety, right? So again, if you're looking to grow your page organically, those are some of the ideas you can consider. So my main focus at this point has been really, yes, my intellectual programs, I love those, but also showing like celebrations of Dominica, showing our travels, showing our concerns we have for Dominica. And yes, we get a lot of backlash when we show concerns. But which reminds me, people say all the time, social media is a beast. Social media is only a beast if you let social media be a beast. Okay, if you're a content creator, and I don't consider myself a content creator, as a matter of fact, I don't even like that terminology. But if you consider yourself a content creator, everybody's not going to agree with the content that you always post. Okay, so in my world, this is my approach. Life is about choices. I'm going to post my content. You can choose to respond, and I can choose to not answer you. So I dare anyone to tell me one time when they got into an argument with me on Facebook. it's not worth your energy. It's not worth your time. You're arguing with people you don't even know, right? So again, social media is only a beast if you allow social media to be a beast. So just be careful. Once you start posting more content, people are going to come for you. People are going to come for you. So you have to make sure in your mind, you know what you're not going to respond to, what you're not going to engage with. And speaking of which, I personally, when I started this all, I also made sure I had my own personal standards. So what do I mean by that? I had my own personal standards. Okay. So when in the beginning you're struggling, you're trying to grow your platform, you're trying to get more views, you're trying to get people to engage more in your content, don't beg nobody. Three things I refused to do when I started growing my platform and I was struggling. I never begged nobody. If I asked you once to come on the program, you said yes. I asked you twice, you said yes, but you didn't follow up. Can I tell you how many times I've actually sat in, we consider this the studio, sat in the studio waiting for someone who said they were going to join me and they never showed? You think I'm going to reach out to them? So number one, don't beg nobody. Number two, don't chase nobody. That means don't keep calling them. Don't keep sending WhatsApp messages. They didn't respond the first time. You sent it a second time. Move on. Okay? The world has billions of people. One person is not going to destroy your program. So move on. So don't beg nobody. If they said yes and they don't show, move on. Don't chase nobody if they're not responding to your WhatsApp messages, if they're not responding to your phone calls, move on. And then the third thing, don't try to ride nobody's coattail. And yes, it happens to me. Those were my three standards. You have to set personal standards for yourself. So don't beg nobody, don't chase nobody, and number three, don't try to ride people's coattails. And the way people try to ride your coattails is what they will do. They will see that your Facebook lives are very popular. So what do? They post their content in the comment section of your Facebook Live in bold. So they want to make sure everybody who's viewing your content will view their content. So they will post their information in bold. And that, my friends, I tell you, is trying to ride somebody's coattail. So don't do that. Don't do that. Try to use the methods that I just suggested to try to grow your audience organically. So remember, you can grow it indiscriminately. You can just, do your imitations, do your reactions, do your voiceovers, and grow it indiscriminately. Thousands of followers, just like that. Or if you're concerned about your image and you're concerned about your brand and you want to grow it organically, then I've already shared with you how you can do just that. So what's next? I'm happy you asked. What's next? What's next for Push Past 10? So first of all, this has been a wonderful experience. I have to tell you, for somebody with a creative mind like this has been an absolute pleasure because I got to showcase my creativity. As a matter of fact, I have my little notebook here. I have my notebook of all the programs I've done. Imagine that. I could do a whole degree on programs that I've done. And so this has been a wonderful opportunity to showcase my creativity. So I've done programs like Promote for Promote. You guys are familiar with Priority U. I did expos using Facebook Live. I did book launches, you name it, I've done it. So whatever could have been done on Facebook Lives, I did Christmas giveaways, virtual carnival. Who remembers the virtual carnival in 2021 when our DJs were struggling for work? And I said, Magwesa, we need to do better. So we did the virtual carnivals. So I say all of this to say that this Facebook platform has been a wonderful opportunity, especially for somebody like me who is, don't say you don't believe me, an extreme introvert. So I'm very, very introverted. So you see that couch right there? When I'm done with this program, I'm going to crash. So, I'm an extreme introvert. So for someone like me who spends a lot of time in my own mind, coming up with ideas, it is a wonderful way for me to showcase my creativity. So Facebook has been a wonderful journey for me to showcase my creativity. And speaking of my creativity, here's something else I think we should stop doing on Facebook. This whole thing about, oh, this one stole my idea and that one stole my idea. Stop it. Stop it. You're a content creator, right? So if somebody steals your idea, first of all, maybe the person needed your idea more than you needed it, right? So just move on. There are millions of other ideas, because one of the things I've decided as we reach 10,000 views is to kind of take a back step away from all the Facebook Live productions. So between like 2021 and maybe up to 2023, I was doing Facebook Lives back to back. I remember one week I had like 5 interviews in one week. And by the way, I really enjoyed those conversations. I really enjoyed my guests. So no complaints. But now that I'm looking at evolving, because that has always been my life's goal, to continue to grow and evolve, I am taking a step back from all the Facebook Live productions. Yes, I'm still going to do Roots Connections. And, if the spirit moves me, I have like millions of other ideas. So, if the spirit moves me, I am free to do what I want to do. So if the spirit moves me, I will come back and do some more programs. But for now, it is time to evolve. It is time. Facebook has been my launching pad. But if you notice in the tagline that I mentioned before, social media is only one of the variables in my equation. So social media is not the be all and all for me. Social media, Facebook has been a great launching pad, but now I think to myself, what's next? What's next? So I have some thoughts. I'm not going to share it with you right now because, yes, guess what? I want you to follow Push Past 10 so you can keep on top of everything. And I also want you to visit, I'll put it right here, my website, so you can keep on top of everything that I am doing, because this mission now has to be going beyond Dominica. It has to be, I've dedicated 4 years to primarily serving Dominica, but now it is time to grow beyond the Facebook views, the Facebook likes, the Facebook followers, and grow beyond Dominica. Dominica, I love you, but we've had our challenges. I'm just going to leave it at that. We've had our challenges. So for me, it's always about mastering a skill and then moving on. So at this point, I've mastered the whole Facebook production, Facebook growth thing. 10,000 is just fine enough for me. And having a combined audience of 40,000 followers even makes it even the more worthwhile. But now it is time to move on. So here is what I will tell you, that as by the end of this week, I will completely update my LinkedIn profile, because if you are looking to make professional connections, that is where you can make the connections. So as of now, I have about maybe 160 people on LinkedIn who are ready to be a part of this mission. Our mission should be, how are we impacting the Caribbean? How are we impacting our country? And that is really what my focus has been with all of this, not just Facebook Lives, Facebook views, but how is this impacting anyone? Is anyone getting any benefits from the programs I'm doing? So whether I'm sharing a celebration, whether I'm sharing a concern, whether I'm sharing, a great discussion, also sharing a great laugh, how am I making an impact? Am I making a difference in my Caribbean community at home and overseas? And not just only that, but am I creating partnerships So am I bringing people together that can work for the benefit and positively impact Dominica and the Caribbean vision, the Caribbean region? So my vision has always been assisting the Caribbean. We face so many challenges from hurricane. Look, now we have the port workers on strike. So we face so many challenges, trying to integrate the knowledge industry, being a part of the digital transformation that the world is going through. So that is the direction that I'm interested in taking now. So how are we contributing to solving all the challenges that we face in Dominica and the Caribbean? So that is certainly what is next for me at this point in time. And I hope that you will continue to join me. So we will certainly continue our Amplify You campaign that we have been doing really well on. We still have folks who are contacting me to say, I want to be a part of the Amplify You program that you do. I want to get my business out there. I want to get my business out to a wider audience of not just Facebook, but Facebook International Radio, as well as podcasts, because that is what it takes. That is what it takes. Oh, I think I see comments. Greetings, Dr. Simon. Dr. Simon, give thanks. Yes, Marlon, we are giving thanks. And I believe I saw somebody earlier, and any comments I missed, I will be sure to come back and take them. And Nature Isle Lady, I like that name. Congratulations, Simone. So guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this journey as we continue to harness the power of technology, social media, international radio, podcasts, and just continue to leverage the expertise of our brothers and sisters at home in the Caribbean as well as overseas, so we can positively impact Dominica and the Caribbean region. So again, I am going to be posting my LinkedIn profile pretty soon, and I'm going to be looking to make connections with organizations that are following the mission of working to position the Caribbean to take advantage of all the technology that is now available, but also to pull our human resources together, to see how we can continue to navigate our way through this very tumultuous world, this world where, as I said all the time, change is the only constant. So we have to position ourselves to be able to give back. That's what it boils down to in a nutshell. How can we give back to our lovely Caribbean islands, and the islands that have done so much for us and made us who we are today? So again, I want to thank you for joining me for this special presentation. I sound like a diplomat. This special presentation as we observe 10,000 followers on Push Past 10, and we thank the other 40,000 followers, our combined 40,000 followers who engage in our content. So until next time, you know what to do. Go ahead and follow. And I think today we probably had about 60 people follow already. So that's great news. So we will continue to grow from strength to strength. We will continue to do what we do, share our celebrations, share our concerns, share a little life. We'll continue to ignore those who want to post negative comments. Sorry. And we will continue to go from strength to strength. So with that, I want to say a pleasant good evening to you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, you take care. By the way, I don't think I mentioned my name. I am Simone Matthew, and this has been another Push Past 10 presentation. Take care.